Hey guys, this is Chuck from Chuck's Southern Comforts Cafe. Hey, we're in my basement. We're getting ready to take a look at our greenhouse setup for this year. Actually, it's our little grow room that we do all of our seedlings for our farm. Right now it's April 9th. We are planning on planting about May 15th. So right now we got about 5 weeks to go still. So come on in. What I do is I keep this all kind of enclosed in here to keep it around 85 degrees, between 75 and 85 degrees. And come on in here. I got a bunch of grow lights in here. So basically what I've got growing in here is all my little seedlings. Eventually I'll take all this stuff and either plant it right to the ground, or I will move these into a greenhouse that I'm going to build in my backyard. Usually I put up a hoop house in my backyard. There's a video of last year's hoop house flying around, but this year I'm actually building a whole new one, kind of a little more professional one. So we'll take a look at what we got here. So these are all tomatoes. I'll pull one of these trays out, and these are I got about, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 different varieties of tomatoes. They're doing pretty good if you look at them. They've got some nice thick stems. They're not too spindly. I've got some fans going to kind of give it a little bit of structure. If you want some wind to kind of keep them from getting too limp and stuff. And then I've got all sorts of stuff down there. I've got Brussels sprouts. These are Brussels sprouts. I've got these are tomatillos, which are starting to get looking pretty nice. And what I'll do is I'll take these eventually. These are in some pretty small pots. I'll take them out of these pots and then move them into about a 3.5 inch, which will give them. And I'll actually bury these tomatoes and tomatillos, and even my peppers. I'll kind of bury them under a little bit, so they'll actually get a better stem, and rooting structure. So then also down here we've got some little babies that are just coming in. This is actually a new thing that I learned about these last year. They're a product called husk tomatoes or ground cherries. They're actually a type of tomatillo, but they're really tasty. They're like they taste like little pineapples. If any of you guys were around Darien, you would have maybe seen me passing out a lot of samples of those last year, and that's what that is. This year I'm growing 80 plants, which should give me enough to be able to make pies and all sorts of stuff. You can actually make like cherry pie out of these tomatillos. It's really, really kind of cool. And then back here, we've got like habaneros and ghost peppers that we're growing, and I think there's a little bit more of, these are almost all habaneros. They're just starting to sprout. They take a little time to get those going. And then I got red cabbages down below, which are doing fairly nice. These are ready to be, I'm going to probably transplant these next week. I was just waiting for, there's a one day this week that's going to be like in the low 30s or whatever. So I'm going to actually give it a little time. These can take a little frost, so they'll actually do well. So will the Brussels sprouts. Those will get moved outside too. And then so over here, let's go back over here really quick. Over here I got a lot of different light systems. Like up here top, I've got I bought a bunch of these 2 bulb lights. And then what I can do is I can just kind of move these trays with books and things like that, and kind of move them up a little closer to the light. And then as they grow, I just kind of keep moving them down by taking out the books. It actually works pretty nice. I've got boxes, I got books, I got anything I can find that really works well. Next year I'm gonna get all boards, because the boards I started using them, and if you look down here, I got a board system, and it actually works pretty well, because then they slide really nice on there, and I don't have to worry about individually lifting each. But sometimes certain plants will grow a little faster. Like you can see, these tomatoes are doing a little quicker. These are probably like I don't know if that's I can't make that out, but I mean some just grow really quick, and other ones grow a little slower. So these are all tomatoes, different types of tomatoes. I've got, I think, we should have about 800 tomato plants this year growing in our farm. These are all new tomatoes that I just planted. And then up here I've got another setup of the 2 bulbs, and I think what we're going to do is add an extra fixture in here so we can get 6 bulbs in here. Because I'm noticing, if you notice here, see these ones here? They're kind of they're really kind of leaning in because they're trying to grab for that light. So I'm trying to get so that each setup has their own little light. I've never had that problem before, but This year it seems to be they seem to be wanting a little more light, so I'm going to try to take care of that and get that taken care of. And then we've also got a big 1,000-watt bulb here, which is basically like the sun. I don't want to ruin your camera, but yeah, this thing it lights up pretty heavy. And then what I do is I kind of keep them domed as they're sprouting, and then once they start sprouting, I kind of usually take the dome off. But the dome helps keep a little moisture in there, and so the seedlings will sprout. And then down below here, I've got a little a heat pad that I can. What I'll do is at night I'll keep it covered with a blanket, so it kind of keeps all the heat in. It gets them up in the nice, because it's near the ground, it gets a little cooler down here. So if you look right here behind me, I've got my temperature gauge. Right now we're at about 75, 80 degrees. So down here we want to keep these around 80 to 90 sometimes. These are all hot peppers that I'm growing down below. So what I do is I keep that covered. And then none of these I don't think have sprouted yet. But they, when you're sprouting, usually you don't really need light. And actually sometimes you don't even want light. Sometimes you do. It depends. It depends on the kind of plant. But a lot of them sprout really well without seeds. I just got these in the mail. These are almost all ghost peppers and a bunch of really cool Mexican peppers, like a Oaxacan pasilla, a bunch of them. It's Oaxacan pasilla, Chihuacle Negro, Chihuacle Amarillo, and Chihuacle Rojo. So those are all like different. They're really exclusive peppers from Oaxaca, Mexico. And what we'll do is normally it's a dried smoked chili. So what we'll do is we'll take these and we're going to try to smoke them ourselves in the smoker at a really low temperature, kind of cold smoke them and slowly dry them. And these things go, like when I buy them, I have to pay $25 a pound for these. So if I can grow my own, I think I could really do well with that. So what I'll do is I bought some seeds this year. I'll grow them and then I'll save seeds from all my plants and that way I don't have to buy seeds every year. That's one of my new things, trying to save all my seeds. That's about it, guys. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll let these grow for probably another week, and then by then I'll have my greenhouse built. And I usually keep the greenhouse a little heated in the winter time. So I'll move these out and let them start getting some natural light. I'll repot them into bigger pots and let these things really start growing. And we should be able to plant all this stuff around May 15th. We've actually at our farm in Darien, we did start planting all of our seeds, like like our broccoli, things that love cold, like broccoli, lettuces, all of our greens, our collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, all that kind of stuff is all planted about 3-4 days ago. So about April 5th we started planting. So that's it, guys. So yeah, we'll catch up with you once we get our greenhouse, and we'll give you another update. Thanks, guys. Bye.